Apartment IDs can be same as before. So the 4 digits, some have been 2, but for the most part they're 4 digit. You enter and away you go. I've got some service codes, so let me get that going.
We're all watching.
Tony's recording the pin.
So for the most part, when we get into the functionality here, you're going to find that it looks very, very similar to what you guys had in the past. Okay? One of the differentiators here when we looked at manufacturers to support you guys have been with Canon for 14 years. So it was a very, very easy sell, if you will, to stick with Canon. So the biggest thing is the functionality. So again, this is the main screen that we see. We can get up to 16 on here. I like to keep it simplistic. There are many screens that we can go to afterwards, but I want to make certain that copy, scan, faxing is not on this device. We do have a fax board on every system. So in the event that we start moving devices from one location to the next and there is a live fax job, we're good to go. But for now, we've got front office and I believe one of the portable set up as well. So you're going to see some options here on the left-hand side. Those are little shortcuts. Main menu gives us our basic options here, so let's get into copy. Everything is defaulted. When we get into our ratios for reduction and enlargement, don't have to play around with the percentages, right? So if we're doing legal to 11 by 17, set up at 121%. Same way works if we're reducing, let's say, legal to letter, right? So everything's fit to page. When we make changes, you're going to notice that things start to highlight. And let's do this one. So as you start going through, and let's do finishing for stapling and hole punching, and we need a duplex for two-sided, etc., everything will go highlight. Anytime we get to a screen we don't know where we got or where we are, how we got there, reset restores all defaults like you never touched it. Down here on finishing, the last button on your old system used to be staple collate. It's now staple group. So use the second to the last. Collating and group. Collating is going to take the orientation in which I put them into the document feeder and make my sets. So pages 1 through 5, etc. Group is going to take, if I want 5 copies, it's going to do 5 of page 1, 5 of page 2, and so forth. Make sense? Cool. For stapling. Top left is always going to be the default. We can do bottom left, top right, bottom right. We can as well select, oops, and I don't get out of the screen. We can as well select hole punch. Right, so default on that is going to be 3-hole punch. If in fact we want to do 2-hole, that's fine. Instead of in portrait, we need to have it in landscape, so it's letter R, which is rotate. Let's see, density and two-sided, just as before. We're making two-sided copies, we just need to tell the system to look at 2 sides. In the event you guys need to make it lighter or darker, there's your density. I will say this comes in handy. I've got a few clients that still send me fax cover pages that are green, pink, blue, whatever the background color may be. Black and white device picks it up as a lot of gray. I can go in and completely remove the background image. So I'll take all the static out of it and just hold on to the image itself. Yeah. Pretty slick. So I know you guys do a lot of booklets here. So we can set up 3 one-touch. What I've been doing is 11 by 17, legal, and letter. So have those select as your one-touch on your quick menu. All the settings are preset and away you go. It works when we hit booklet. Then I've got my paper size here. So let's say for this one I want to do 11 by 17. Select OK. OK. And close. And all the different functionality, you're going to find this little gear. This will allow me to add things to my quick touch, which is going to be over here in your quick menu. So if I go register to quick menu, I'm doing things upside down. It's going to show you what the settings are here. So we're doing a booklet copy. We're doing 11 by 17 as the document size. We want to turn both of those to off. And now let's give it a name. I've got a personal option and a shared option. Because you guys have account IDs, everything is run with your 4-digit account access code. The shared sits on the hard drive versus following your user credentials. So if someone comes in, obviously enters their own 4-digit code. If I save it under personal, it's only going to be saved under my user credentials. If I save it under shared, it's now saved on the hard drive so that anyone can access it when they open up the system capabilities. Does that make sense? So we'll call this one 17. So now it's registering. I go to reset, my quick menu, shared, and there's my booklet. So, a couple of these.
What do you want?
Just a pen. It's sitting over there in that folder,
What about
but
a pencil?
that'll
Does that
work. Yes, ma'am.
Just go from somewhere. Is this when we do A to Z, where we don't do double-sided saddle stitch type thing anymore? We do single-sided?
All right. So the way this document feeder works, the larger systems will do up to 300 sheets. Smaller here, and the color systems will do up to 100. Make sure you see the green light. If I push this in and don't have a green light, it makes the assumption that it's going off the glass. Okay. Oops. So when you guys would two-side copy in the past, pulls it through, scans one side, pulls it back, scans the other. This is a single pass duplex, so it's now looking on both sides, pulling the document through. So here's our book. So you've got pages 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? Go into 6, 8, 12, etc. Then you find what is called saddle stitch, right? So then you have the 2 staples in the center and multiple pages. Keep it in multiples of 4, and you'll never have the blank sheets. But nonetheless, that is now under your quick menu, an 11 by 17 booklet. I'll set up a legal and a letter as well. When using your colored paper, that's 8.5 by 11, I've been requested to ask folks to use the bypass tray versus the main paper cassettes. You'll notice that this is an intelligent bypass, so it's not only picked up the size of the document, but the orientation as well. If it's just standard copying and printing I'm doing, if I go in and tell it change, these 2 paper cassettes are set to plain. I select plain 2, just giving it a different standard size to look at. It will stay on the bypass tray. If I don't tell it that it's plain 2 versus plain 1, when it depletes this, it will now start pulling from the one of those 2 master cassettes. Right? So if we go in and just tell it plain 2, away we go. So that would be for your 8.5 by 11 booklets. In the event that there's transparencies, labels, envelopes, anything funky and out of the ordinary, as soon as I put this in, I can then hit change. And there's all my options, right? So let's say, for instance, I wanted to do labels. Or send. Any questions on copy? Okay. Scan and send. Everything that was in your address book before is in there today. So if you guys were able to walk back here and scan, you're set. In the event you want to add someone or edit anything that's in the address book, register edit. I can then go in and make selections here and either make changes to the name, delete the name, etc. You also have a one-touch capability. So instead of going to the address book, going to my name, etc., I can hit a one-touch button and it goes directly to my email. When I get to scanning, here's all my additional options. While these are both black and white systems, they only print and copy in black and white, they will scan in full color. We've set up some presets here. I say that, let me take care of that real quick. So the default file, there we go, will be PDF. We as well have TIFF, JPEG, XPS, all that fun stuff. You'll as well find a compact and an OCR feature. Compact is Canon's making the file size as small as possible so you don't get the rejection because the email server sent it back. What's really cool is the OCR, which is optical character recognition. You guys can now, when you go back to your workstation and open that file, it's a fully searchable PDF. So if I'm looking for Jane Doe, it's going to find my 5, 10, whatever the size of the file was, and go through and find each time that Jane Doe is mentioned, or account numbers, whatever it may be. The other cool part is it's now a fully editable doc. So if I want to open it in Word or Excel or PowerPoint, I can do so from my workstation. Any questions on that? Okay.
Tony, would you get minutes if you added our newer staff to the email function?
What's that?
Will you get minutes? I know anybody with about 5 years or less experience here
Yeah.
is not in our address book.
Yeah.
Would you get minutes for that?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Add me then. Sure.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, we'll give you minutes.
Some additional capabilities here on scan. We can scan two-sided. I just simply need to tell the system to look at it. Booklet is portrait. Calendar is landscape. Different sized originals. If it's an 11 by 17 or an 8.5 by 11, same width. If it's an 8.5 by 11 and a legal doc, it's a different width. So I just need to tell the system to make certain to look for different sizes. Otherwise, it makes the assumption the first document it pulls through, whatever the specs are on that, but the rest of the job is that size. Some additional options. What is pretty slick in scanning is we can now give it a file name. So instead of going back to my workstation and opening up the email and getting 12 or 13 characters in the file name, you can give it a name. Subject message is kind of cool, but the skip link originals, I like it a lot. So if I've got 4 pages, for instance, 2 of them are front and back, and 2 of them are single-sided, I still need to tell the system to look at both sides. Skip link originals will now omit your blank pages, right? So it takes the first 2 that it sees images on, omits the last 2. So no more scrolling through the blank pages on your workstation. Any questions on scanning?
When it makes a PDF, and you said it's editable, is it just on the standard PDF scanning mode, or does it have to be on that OC, whatever you called it?
So I set it as a default, so you don't ever have to
okay.
touch it.
Okay.
So when you get back to your PC and just go to your email, you can open it up in Adobe, or you can open it up in any of those different Office programs you'd like. Okay. Let's see. So back in the main menu, we've got scan and save and access saved files. You guys have a thumb drive here, so now you can print to USB, or I'm sorry, scan to or print from. Print from, it's still big business. Canon and Microsoft don't always play nice. Save the work or the Word, Excel, PowerPoint that you're working in as a PDF, and you can print it all day long.
Okay.
Okay. Get the thumb drive on. I left mine in the car. Thanks, there. So when I hit access, there's my memory media. Right, and there's my file. Oops. And print. Right, so now I can come in and make changes if I want to do stapling, if I want to do hole punch, and so on and so on. Otherwise, I hit start. Away it goes. Whoops. Helps if I pull that tray out, huh? Thank you. So I do have some cheat sheets that one of my associates has today, so I'll be coming back. They're laminated and we'll be leaving them up. So if folks weren't here for
Great.
how do we copy, how do we print, and so forth. Let's see, what else is used? Oh, so secure print's another one. So if I've got something confidential, or you guys have used it before, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be the print with the lock icon. Then it'll then list it down.
We just have to get it and the password.
So when you send it over, give it a password and you're good to go. What's also pretty slick is a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, and what did he say about copying, or shoot, I forgot about scanning. There's a tutorial here that will take you through each and every functionality of the device. So, just saying in the beginning, if I'm coming in and I'm making copies and doing my thing, I can either go back to main menu and select scan or secure print, etc. We've created some shortcuts here. So if I'm just now moving on to the next thing and it's scanning, I can go directly into scanning without having to go back to the main menu. questions, concerns?
Thank you.
Very well.